Unit Magnetism and Matter. Topic Motion in a Magnetic Field.
The next topic that we are going to start is motion in a magnetic field. So, in this topic, first we are taking a condition that a charge is moving in the presence of a magnetic field and the magnetic field is transverse. Transverse means perpendicular to the plane in which charge is moving. So here we are observing that the magnetic field is being represented by cross. Now you all are aware that cross means magnetic field is directed inward, perpendicular to the plane and inward, going into the plane. This has been explained earlier also. So the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane and inward. Now a positive charge is moving. The direction of velocity is shown here. Suppose at this particular point the direction of velocity is shown here. Suppose this point is P. There are the points Q and R and S also. So the velocity at point P is in the plane while magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane. That means V and B are perpendicular to each other. Then it is observed that the direction of force is this as shown. Now again at some other point Q, the direction of velocity is as shown. Then the corresponding direction of force will be this. In this way, the direction of force at every point is in such a way that it is always directed towards the center of a circular path. So it acts as a centripetal force. We can say that the direction of force at every point is such that it acts as a centripetal force and the charge moves in a circular path. So the next case for motion in the presence of a magnetic field. Earlier we have seen the condition where magnetic field is transverse, that means perpendicular to the direction of velocity. In this case, the second case is when magnetic field and velocity are not perpendicular to each other but inclined at some non-zero or non-pi by 2 angle, that means not perpendicular to each other. So here we are having the diagram. The direction of magnetic field is along the x-axis. These are the y and z axis, and direction of magnetic field, uniform magnetic field, is along the x-axis, and the direction of velocity is shown here. So velocity is making some angle other than 90 degree with the direction of field. Now we can divide this velocity vector into components. One component will be parallel component, which will be along the direction of magnetic field, and the other one will be perpendicular component, which is normal to the direction of magnetic field. Now we know that the force acting on a charge due to a magnetic field and velocity is qvb sine theta. So here the parallel component, angle between the v parallel and b is 0. So in that case sine 0 will be 0. So force on parallel component will be 0. That means no force will act on parallel component of velocity, and no force acts means it keeps moving without any acceleration. It keeps moving with the same velocity as initial. On the other hand, there is a perpendicular component, and the force acting on that component will be qvb sine 90, and its value will be sine 90 maximum value, so qvb. So and we know that when a perpendicular force acts on velocity, that means when velocity and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, then a force acts in such a way that the object moves in a circular path. So here under the impact of perpendicular component v perpendicular, the charge will move in a circular path, while under the impact of parallel component, when no force is acting, the charge will keep moving along a straight line along the x-axis. So there are two motions taking place simultaneously. One is straight line motion and other is circular motion. So the combination of these two motions that charge is moving in circular path as well as it is moving continuously forward. So it results in circular path plus moving forward. So the resultant motion is helical motion. So the motion of charge in such a condition is helical motion, which has been shown in the diagram. Now here the force due to perpendicular component is acting as the centripetal force. So we can equate the force is QVB, we know from the expression, but it is acting as the centripetal force, expression of for which is mv square by r. So we can equate mv square by r and QVB, and we v and v get cancelled here, and we can find the radius of the circular path, which is mv upon qb. Now we know that if omega is the angular frequency, then v is omega r. Linear velocity is angular velocity into r, and also omega is 2 pi nu, where nu is the frequency. V and nu are different. You have been taught all this in class 11th. So from this we can write omega is equal to v by r. So omega is v by r and omega is 2 pi nu. Here nu is frequency. So both, and also v by r, we have the value of r here. We find v by r, means we divide this r by v. So we get qv by m. So this is the expression for angular frequency. And time period of moving in a circular path, t is 2 pi by omega. We can substitute the value of omega again from equation 2. So we get time period 2 pi m by qb. Then pitch. Pitch is the distance moved by the charge, horizontal distance moved by the charge in when one circular path is completed. So this is the distance which is known as pitch. It is given by v parallel into time period t. Why? Because object is moving along straight line path with velocity v parallel, but we are finding the distance traveled in time equal to time period of completion of one circle. So distance is speed into time. Time is time taken for completion of one circle, and velocity is v parallel because we are determining the straight line distance. So we put the value of t from equation 3 and we get this expression for pitch.